And today I'd like to show you how to make some art journals out of magazines. Like here's one that I've made. It was the James Avery catalog, and I've already started adding my pictures to it. And we'll continue to. I make the pictures on a separate piece of paper, then put them in here. Then here's one that a little book I made, like an ABC thing. And it was a Uncommon Goods catalog. I don't usually put the cover on until I'm through working in them because then I don't have to worry about messing up my cover. You can use all kinds of magazines. I found glossy ones work the best. This is a river cruise. People think we're rich and we want to go on a river cruise all the time. And this nice thick glossy paper. They're stapled together so they're easy to take apart. And just like these two, like I said, we keep getting them. And I picked this one up at the grocery store, and it's nice, thick paper. It will work great. So the first thing you're going to do is, like I said, you find your magazine. Then you decide how you're going to do it. Now this magazine will work just fine. I'm going to make, let's see, it's 6 inches by 9.5. So if I had a 5 by 7, it would fit just fine for 5 by 7. So I'm going to open it up and take the staples out. Let's see if I can find something to take these staples out, but this will work. Notice I'm not using the blade side to take out the staples. Can you actually use a regular staple remover? That might work better. It might be safer. And I just hate to use my fingernails. And then if I was concerned about the fact that it was taller than what I really, really needed, at this time I would go ahead and cut it down. Or if you had a bigger magazine, this would be the time you cut your pages down to the size you need. Keep your cover because you're going to like using that cover. Then you're going to cover every single page with gesso. And I use my gesso, put my gesso on with a spatula, a paint spatula, and I use homemade gesso. So I have it in a tub. And I just smear it on. It's not going to cover your pages, but it's going to tone down what's on there. And it's going to give them a little bit of body. So you just go ahead and you're going to have to do both sides. And this is the time when you might turn the TV on and you might decide to watch TV while you're doing this because it takes some time. And so as you can see, you still can see what's underneath there. Alright, that's one side done, and I'll set it aside. And because I've scraped it on instead of painting it on, it will dry a whole lot faster. And I will do the next page. While that, I'll do a couple of pages on one side, then I will work on the next side on those first pages. You need to decide how many pages you want in your, just because that magazine that you had 100 pages doesn't mean you have to have 100 pages in your art journal. Okay, my pages are gessoed. They're relatively dry. I feel like they probably could stand a little bit longer, but I got them stacked up. And don't forget your cover. I have 10 pages here that I've done. Then I'm going to take some binder clips. Make sure they're all lined up nice and neat. And hold them together with the binder clips. That should do it. Next, I want to take a pencil and a ruler, and I find my center. Alright, I don't try to do too much math on it. Let's do it this way. Find my center, and let's not try to do too much math. It's 9.5, which makes it 4 3/4, and there's my center. That's where I'm going to put one hole. Then I'm going to go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go every 1.5 inches, inch and a half, inch, and let's bring it down just a little bit. It's not quite 1.5 inches. They don't have to be absolutely even. Basically, you just don't want them too close, but you don't want them too far apart. If you get them too close, they'll tear to each other, and you'll have too many of them. If you get them too far apart, they barely hold your page together. Oops, there's 1.5 inches. And bring it down. I don't like them too close to the edge for the very same reason. I don't want them to be able to tear out. Alright, so there we have our holes. If you want to, and I think I might do that on this one, you can put some washi tape down on this when you get done to keep it from tearing, or you can do it before. Alright, now I'm going to take a needle with a large hole and thread, and I need a piercing pad. Because first, before I use my needle and thread, I got to pierce my holes. I have several piercers. It doesn't matter what you use, just so long as you got a hole. And I'm going to make my holes. But notice I'm going to the piercing pad. And make a hole, right on the crease in the middle. That's where you want it. Hole. Then just to make sure, see, like this one didn't get made. Well, it did get made. Then I'm going to go back from the outside and make a hole. And redo the holes. Go back through the holes. Just to make them big enough that you can see and go through. Don't poke your fingers. These are kind of big. These will be fine. Okay, there's that. Then you're going to take your thread. This is DMC Pearl Cotton number 8. You can use any kind of pearl cotton, crochet thread, 1, 2, and you need at least 3 lengths, and I always get 3 lengths in the width. And pearl cotton works, waxed linen works. You can use embroidery floss if you use at least 6 of the strands. You just basically want thick thread. Alright, I'm going to go through down in the middle. See, I'm going down in the middle. I threaded my needle with my pearl cotton. I'm leaving a pretty good tail. And I'm going to come up in the next one. And you can go up and down, or you go down and up, it doesn't matter. Down and up. See, I'm making these big old stitches. And I'm coming up to here. That's trying to tear already. That's from just being a catalog. Cheap. Okay, I see my tail got. Alright, so I'm all the way to the top. So I'm going to go down, back down. So I'm going to go down in the ones I came up with. and up and the ones I came down with. So it's going to be continuous. Here I'm at the middle. I'm going to go past the middle. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go to the bottom of the page. And I'm actually using a tapestry needle that doesn't have a sharp point on it. Because my hole's already made, I don't need the point. And I end up finding those a whole lot better and easier than I find those big old needles. Plus, I don't worry about poking myself. Alright, so then, I came up in the middle, in and out to the top, came back down, kept going all the way to the bottom, came back up, and now I have, this is the next to the bottom, and I have these two. Now sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but most of the time, I haven't ever had a knot, so I don't know what the math on that is. Don't ask me to do math. And I'm going to tie these together, just like that. Leave a tail. Take your binder clips off. And you have yourself an art journal. Now you can use this like I'm going to use. I'm going to put papers in here, or you can paint in it. You don't have to worry about the adhesive giving way because you've stitched it. But that's just as simple as that. All for the little bit of gesso. I hope you enjoyed my video.